1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. Today we have a bonus episode, but it's not a bonus role-playing game episode like usual. It is a bonus comic book episode. Today we are going to be talking to Matthew Blair, the author of Kaijus and Cowboys. Welcome to the show, Matthew.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having us.
Now, the reason we're having you in here now specifically is because you've got a Kickstarter going right now for issue 3 of Kaijus and Cowboys. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have the Kickstarter is for the 3rd issue of our series, although I'd like to point out that we do offer issues 1 and 2 as well. So if you're new and you want to check us out, you can definitely do that. But yeah, it's do you want me to talk about like the book or the campaign itself?
Well, all of it.
All right, fair enough. So basically, the idea behind Kaijus and Cowboys is that it's right in the name, actually. The premise of the story that I had with Frankie, who's the artist, is that you have a robot cowboy wandering the surface of an alien planet, and his job is to fight the giant monsters that inhabit this planet. And the reason why he's doing that is because he and his fellow robots are trying to make the planet safe and habitable for humans who are in a massive Ark colony ship that's in orbit around the planet. So it's very... It was, very much influenced by, Clint Eastwood westerns, Kurosawa samurai films, and it has Godzilla and all the wonderful monsters of the kaiju universe that's been so popular for the past half century. The book is written by me. It's drawn by the incredibly talented Frankie B. Washington, who I cannot say enough nice things about, and it's lettered by a gentleman named Mike Stock. So, we've put a lot of time and effort into this book. We've planned a 12-issue series for it, and so we're on issue 3, and we're working hard on making the rest of it a reality. I think that's it. I probably missed something, but we'll. But yeah, that's the basic details of it. It's robot cowboys fighting kaiju.
What more do you need? Somehow I had not noticed this before. It had not come across my radar before, but as soon as I saw it, I said, "Yeah, I'm in on that." So.
Oh yeah, it's very much a. This is very much a labor of love, and it's very much a case of, hey, this sounds like a cool idea, let's go with it. Part of the reason why we created this book in the first place is because Frankie and I have been working together for years on a bunch of other projects. I met Frankie when he agreed to draw a webcomic I've done called The Secret Lives of Villains, which is a whole other thing. And I noticed as we were doing this webcomic, which we did for like 6 years, that I noticed that Frankie was a massive kaiju fan, and I was like, okay, Frankie's been doing such a good job with the book that I want to do. I want to see what I can do about making a book that Frankie wants to do. And I was like, okay, kaiju. What goes well with that? And then Frankie was like, I'd really like to do a kaiju western. And I was like, okay, let me mull it over. And I did, and I got back to him, and he was like, absolutely, this sounds like a fantastic idea. Let's do it. And we've been going forward ever since.
What all is available in the current Kickstarter?
All right. So, like I said, we have the first 3 issues of the comic. They're all set and lettered. We also have a bunch of goodies for the campaign. We have stickers. We have 2 different patches. We have some beautiful prints. One of them is by Thomas Perkins, who has done work with a whole bunch of TV shows like Ben 10 and Spider-Man and all that. Let's see, what else do we have? The prints. We also, and this is really exciting, and I don't have pictures, but if you go on our Kickstarter, you can actually see it. We have this fantastic 8-inch statue figure. It's an 8-inch statue. It comes with a stand. And it was sculpted by a gentleman named Dope Pope, who is very well known for doing sculpts of kaiju figures. And he saw the campaign, and he was like, I have to do a figure of this. And we were like, absolutely, please do. So like that's like the big one. We also have some variant covers and another print by a guy named Daniel Mead, who did the trailer for the Kickstarter. So if you check that out, you can see all the really awesome work that he's put in. So, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and it's definitely the case with this comic book. It's a fantastic village of amazingly creative and talented people, and we're just really excited to show it.
This webcomic you mentioned, is that still available online?
Oh yeah. The webcomic, it's called The Secret Lives of Villains. It's a sitcom about a family of supervillains, just living life and dealing with all the trials and tribulations that come with being a supervillain in a city that depends on superheroes. It's on our website, Cambrian Comics, CAMBRAIN Comics. And yeah, it's also on Tapas, which is a webcomic hosting platform. So it's out there. I think you can also find it on Reddit as well.
Okay, we'll put a link to that along with the Kickstarter, of course, in our show notes.
Oh yes, fantastic! Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the hero of this comic.
Yeah. So the hero is the bot with no name. So we call him Bwin. So it's a pretty blatant homage to Clint Eastwood. And the way Frankie described it to me, it's a combination of Clint Eastwood and Jet Jaguar. Okay. Like if you look at like the face, and yeah. So like the idea is that he's the strong silent type. Like he's incredibly capable of inflicting incredible violence against kaijus, and like the way he was built is he was designed to go up against monsters who are 5, 6, 10 times his size and win. So like one of the things that we wanted to do, like since he's a robot, and since he and since he's a fighter, we wanted to make it so that he was capable, but at the same time, like he doesn't struggle, but it's a challenge whenever he goes up against a giant monster. Like we talked about like how we wanted to make it so that he could be vulnerable, that like whenever he fights something, like he always falls apart. And like the great thing about robots is that you can show them getting beat up, ripped to shreds, and have incredible violence inflicted on them, but it can still be kid friendly because they're robots, and not only does that remove the human element, it also makes it easy to put them back together. So it's, we have like he's a cowboy, and it's the lone gunman riding into town to fix the world's problems, but he's also capable of doing incredibly crazy and dangerous stuff. But also he's got a whole support system around him as well. So like he has like his wagon, he has his kaiju horse, and he has like a system in place where he can develop new weapons. He can and he can like fix himself, and he can modify himself. So yeah, it's a cowboy who can't die, but he he isn't immune to struggle either.
And the kaiju, what are they like? Do they have, individual qualities and personalities, or are they just big monsters to be killed?
Well, yeah, that was also something we talked about. And I'm struggling to figure out what I can talk about without giving too much away. But what I'm gonna say is that we do step away a little bit from having like distinct personalities with the kaiju, and but we also in exchange we were like, well, it's more of an ecosystem. Like the planet that these robots are on is I'm not gonna say alive, but it's very reactive to these robots, to like these foreign invaders, and it's that it like the kaiju are a reaction to it's sort of like antibodies trying to fight off a virus. And so like another thing we wanted to talk about, another sort of theme in the theme of the book is you have this whole East versus West thing. It's like, what is a kaiju? A kaiju is a monster that rises from the depths to put humanity back in its place, and it's a warning. Like if we don't change the way we act, if we don't change the direction we're going in, we're going to all be annihilated. But at the same time, you've got a cowboy, you've got the Western. It's like, the cowboy, rides out into the wilderness, and, you take what's yours, you manifest your destiny, you make it your own. And if there's anything in the way, or if there's anything that can be, taken or used, you take it and, ignore anything else. So you have these sort of like two different philosophies. And you have these two sides that are in a situation where it's if we don't win, we don't survive. So we're playing around with like who's right, who gets to survive, who gets to outlast the other, and it's a tragedy, but at the same time it's just a very interesting theme that we get to talk about and explore, and we get to show through some really, really good action. So, yeah, philosophy through violence.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like the kaiju are Native Americans.
I mean, yeah, there's certainly a little bit of that. So yeah, there's a little bit of cowboys and Indians. I'm gonna be absolutely honest. I wasn't the biggest kaiju fan before I met Frankie, so like I don't know like the lore or like the details, but ever since I met Frankie, it's always been an intriguing thing to me. Like I did see the original Godzilla movie for the first time a couple of years ago, and it's like, oh, I get this, I like this. The themes are there, that's all there. And yeah, you do have a little bit of the cowboys and natives conflict going on. Again, there's some stuff that I'm not going to reveal because it would tread in the realm of spoilers, but like we discuss it in some pretty great detail in later issues. So yeah, there's definitely that.
What can you tell us about some of the supporting characters?
Yeah. Okay. So the bot with no name has his own ecosystem around him. He has like his own support system, and like the entire reason why he's down there is because there's this ship in orbit, and it's run by a artificial intelligence we call Father Mind, who's like the one that controls everything, who determines who goes where and who fights what and all that. And so as Father Mind tries to colonize this planet, as it were, he sends other robots to help the bot with no name. There are also other people who meet him along the way. It's a whole thing, and we get to show that. Especially in issues 2 and 3, which are on the Kickstarter, and it's going to become a lot more apparent in issues 4 and 5. So,
and how often do you plan on having new issues come out?
So what we're doing is we're like I said, it's 12 issues. We're going to start. We're going to plan to run 2 Kickstarters a year until the series is finished. After this one is done, we're planning another one for April of 2024, and one after that, and then so on and so forth. So 2 books a year.
Well, good. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's we had a publisher, but unfortunately it didn't work out so well. So it's like, so we're just doing it on our own, and the great thing about creator-owned books is that it lets you do your book the way you want to. Like, there's no editorial oversight. There's no one saying, well, we have to optimize this for so-and-so. It's like, no. It's, our story, our book, our art, the way we want to do it. So, and it's some gorgeous artwork. It's like, I've been looking at Frankie's art for like the better part of a decade now. And it's like, every time I see new pages, it's like, this is beautiful.
Now, you said you are not the one with the kaiju experience, but I usually ask this question, so I'm going to ask you anyway. Do you have a favorite monster, a favorite kaiju?
I mean, I like the original Godzilla. Like, I like the first movie that was put out, and I like the horror aspect of it, because like, I'm not a kaiju fan per se, but like I do enjoy like studying like history and art and culture and how it develops over time. So like, I know the whole story behind why Godzilla was created, like out of fear of the atomic bomb, and like knowing things like Godzilla's footsteps are actually the sound effects of bombs going off, or like how like Japan, Godzilla was originally a horror movie, but then it came over to the United States and it was like, this is amazing. This is like an action movie. And so, I'd say the original Godzilla. I've also seen the modern ones as well. And King of Monsters was really, really good. I really enjoyed that one. I really liked, I know this is probably sacrilege, but I liked Ghidorah. Just like the design, a 3-headed dragon king from outer space. It's like, absolutely, why not? That's so cool. And his heads regrow, and it's like, this is amazing. I love it.
No, Ghidra's cool. That's a perfectly acceptable answer. I'll allow it. So is this the only thing you're working on right now? I mean, as if it's not enough, but are there any other projects that either of you are working on?
Well, Well, I mean, Frankie came from a background in advertising, so I don't. He explains it a lot better than I could. Well, he'll have to come. We'll have to arrange something where we have an interview with him, maybe for the April campaign. But he's got some stuff in the works. He's doing his things. You can find him on his Twitter account at Frankie B. Wash. Myself, I am planning to do another Kickstarter like almost immediately after this for a different book that's not really kaiju related. It's more of a historical fiction thing, but that's going to be on there. We're also working on a sort of prequel to Kaijus and Cowboys. It's very much in the early stages at the moment, but it's about humans dealing with kaiju level threats as well. It's about humans dealing with kaiju level threats on Earth. For again reasons I'm not going to get into for spoilers, but it's very much a prequel to Kaijus and Cowboys. So like it answers some questions as to why humankind left for the stars, and like it shows like the struggle of how we got to that point, if that makes any sense.
Well, this Kickstarter has just about a week to go. It's going to wrap up on September 20th at 7:25 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So, folks, head on over to Kickstarter.com. As I said, I'll put the link, but you can also just search Kaijus and Cowboys, and it'll pop up. Well,
yep, it's a pretty unique title, and yeah, we're so close. We have like less than $300 to go, and it's like we are very, very close. And we know that with your support and with your passion for kaiju, we know we can make it. And like it's just like there's a bunch of great kaiju media out there. It's not just Godzilla, even though Godzilla is absolutely fantastic. But there's some great stuff on Netflix. There are some other great kaiju books as well. I cannot recommend them enough. There's a book called Territory that is also really good that you could support. And then there's Kaijus and Cowboys.
Well, everybody, please consider supporting this project and help it make its goal. They're so close. And we'll have you back to talk about the next Kickstarter when that comes up.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
So I'm going to put this up as quickly as possible, folks. So this will not be as heavily edited as usual.
Yeah, thank you.
Deal with it. And remember to go ahead.
Good old raw audio's good. Good old stream of consciousness.
And remember, you can follow us on all our things, which you can find at mmftg.com. And thank you for joining us, and come back here later in the week for our regular episode. I have been your host, Precious D. Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements. And please, whatever you do, do not misuse science. We will not see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Funtime Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Funtime Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texicano Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/mmftg.